Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Noelle and this week we are going to test a little Regency Spencer pattern that my friend Lynn cooked up for me, which is going to lead into a much larger set of projects that are probably all Regency based that might happen over the next year. So I thought I would introduce this whole project, talk about it a little bit, and then we will try and make this Spencer and see how it looks. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is give you a quick rundown on how this all started and why we're going to be working on this, but it all started with the hat. This hat, to be specific. This is a Minerva hat. It is a Regency style hat, little military grade. It has a fun little cap bump right here, which I think is really neat. And I originally bought it from my friend Maggie, who looked super cute in this hat. And it had 2 black feathers and 1 white feather in the middle. The feathers were a little bit manky by the time I got to it, so I gave it to my friend Lynn McMasters, who is a wizard with hats and feathers and all that kind of stuff, and said, hey, can we zhuzh this a little bit? And she was like, heck yeah, we can. So she found these feathers that have sort of like little colorations in them already, and she made this hat work with these feathers. She did a little bit of magic in the back, and that inspired her. So these guys come out, like you can take all of them out if you want to, and you can also take them apart. So you can either have 1 feather or 3 feathers, as you can see, and you can just slide them back here into this little pouch. Now this little pouch is actually something we want to look at. See this little soutache design here? Lynn got really into this, and she decided that I needed to make a Regency Spencer in a military style so that we could put little replicas of this soutache on the Spencer. She then went a little nuts and made me also a hat box that will fit this hat, which I really appreciate. So it started out as a black Spencer, and it still might be a black Spencer, we'll see. Maybe it'll be a black police, we don't know. But she also decided that she liked yellow a lot, and since I made that yellow bonnet, even though I'm gonna wear this bonnet with it, she was like, hey, why don't we make a yellow one? And I was like, why don't we make both? Because I'm an and person. I don't really understand or. I like the word and. So we're probably going to make 2 and we'll see how that goes. So she went off in search of some military style Spencers and she found this guy in 19th century fashion and detail, which that's real cute. And she really liked this collar piece that is right here with this pointy neck. So she decided she liked that. And then she came over here and started looking at this guy in Janet Arnold Patterns of Fashion 1. And she liked this guy, which is completely understandable because this is super cute. It has some really interesting sleeves as well. These sleeves are extremely difficult to discern what's going on here in the photographs. But man, I saw a Instagram reel in which someone made them in different colors so you could see what was going on, and I am sold. I've never tried anything this complicated as far as sleeves go, but I'm willing to give it a go. Then she went off and designed this little sketch for me, which I thought was super cute, and I was like, heck yeah, let's try it. And then I got a package in the mail with this whole pattern here. So it's all been made to my size. She has my measurements, so of course that wasn't that complicated, and I am here to give it a go and get started on this situation. But of course I only have the 1 white dress. Which will go with both, so it's not a problem for me to use that dress with both of these things, but I do have ambitions for a few more dresses. One is linen, I believe, and has yellow stripes on it, and it is absolutely gorgeous, and it's a little bit heavier. And then I have a very, very light, gauzy, polka dotted with like gold polka dots on it. Super cute. Those would both make good dresses. Also, I like my dress, but it would be nice to have other ones. I also might want to make a black dress to go with a black Spencer and have a full morning outfit. So I have a feeling that this year is going to be a lot of Regency. We shall see. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get this baby cut out so that she's ready to be cut out of some muslin and see how she fits. Okay, we are done cutting the paper, and while I was at it, I just went ahead and cut that fabric because you don't need to see me cut the same thing twice. So let's go to the board. Alright, here's what I can see is the task list for the situation. We have already cut the pattern and cut the fabric. Now I'm going to transfer the markings. We have to figure out how the body goes together, which is kind of complicated, and sew the sleeves together and then set the sleeves, and that should be good enough. Okay, so this project has a couple of challenging factors for me that I am not used to, and you know, I'm always looking for projects where it pushes my boundaries or I'm getting better in some way, so we're doing that with this one. So the first is that I have no instructions. So I gotta figure this out. Cool. I do have Lynn. I can fall back on her and she can tell me what to do, but okay, cool. So I have made a bunch of 18th century jackets and spencers before, so this should be not a problem. It is a spencer, but it does have skirting like an 18th century jacket. So it's going to be a combination of the two, but I should be able to do that. The second is that I'm trying to put this together fairly quickly if I can, and I'm trying to do it on a sewing machine. And normally you would do this by hand because this is like, you know, before the sewing machine. So we're gonna have to see if modern sewing techniques will work for this situation and deal with it if it doesn't. So let's get to marking the pattern and getting that all set up so that I can start stitching. Okay, well, I said I was going to transfer markings, and I am doing that, and I'm doing it kind of obsessively. I'm actually putting in all the stitch lines also, as well as any other markings that are available to me on this, because I think like these are very useful to be exact. The registration marks are very useful to be exact, but I think because we're sort of winging this out of Patterns of Fashion, I want to be able to tell where the cut, you know, the actual cut line and the sew line are different, so that when I make adjustments to the pattern when we do our try on, I can make them to the actual pattern as well. So that is what I'm currently doing. Fun times. Alrighty, I've got everything traced out and happy and ready to go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get the skirting all stitched together, because then I can do all the pleats and it can just hang out while I sew the other things on. So I'm going to do this part first. So I've got these all on here, and now what I'm going to do is make these pleats, all the places where there are pleats, and then stitch them in, like baste them in so that they hold while I do the rest of it. I also have this Oliso iron, which I've had for quite some time, but I wasn't using because I was finishing using my old one before it died. And it's kind of crazy because it does that, which I find amazing and also moderately terrifying. So, cool. Getting used to it. I'm like, is this gonna like ruin my table? Like, what's the situation? Nope, it's great so far. Okay, so these are pleated down. I have no idea if they're correct or not. We're just gonna try. And then we need to attach the side backs and fronts to basically this zone, which is interesting. This is, I think, part of the sleeve head, which I'm like, okay. So I don't know how this all goes together. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna go ahead and attach all of these things, and then there'll be skirting attached to that. Okay, this whole pile is the back piece, the side back, and the front piece all together. So I was like, okay, cool, where's the shoulder seam? Well, this is both the arm side and the shoulder seam, and I'll show you why. If we look at this here drawing, the front piece comes all the way up, wraps over the shoulder, and ends up right here, like very close to this, to make that diamond shape that we see so often. So the arm side hole that I have that's going is actually this whole thing right here. Cool. This is the side back, this is the front, and you can see that there's an armhole here, and it is connected way in the back there. I probably should have done these darts earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and do those. I'm figuring out order of operations here, but this is fine so far. Okay, so I have the body mostly sewn together, although there's a part that's not sewn together, and I will show you why. And I see so many things that I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to fix that. I have a fitting with Lynn tomorrow. So we're gonna fix a bunch of stuff tomorrow. But I will show you some of the things that I find moderately problematic with this situation and compare them to the line drawings, and maybe we'll figure out what we can do about some of them. Question mark? Who knows? Before I start getting ready the sleeves. I'm not sure that I'm gonna put the sleeves on tonight. I might build them and make them ready to go so that we can do a try on with them tomorrow. But I'm not sure that putting them in will be productive, and I'll show you why. Okay, here's this. Cool. Here, just as a reminder, is what we're going for. So first thing you can see is that the collar is completely the wrong shape. It's like almost like a boat collar situation. Like this point should be like, first of all, this should end and point here and then go back. So this is like all at the wrong angle and stuff. Although I will say, hi, Brunhilde is modeling and she's a little drunk today, that the back is cute. Do like this pointy bit. This is cute. I do like this, it fits good. I did not sew on this skirting for several reasons yet. And the first one is that it's too long and the pleats are weird. As you can see, this skirting here should stop this line that you barely can't see, but it's this line right here, should line up with the edge of this. So this skirting is too long this direction. I also think it is too long this direction. So I'm not sure that we even need that. Additionally, I haven't sewn it on because I think like this is all weird over here. Like this is just too much stuff over here. Even though my body's over there. And actually what I think is that all three of these darts should actually be moved more forward to be under the bust, not kind of on the side here. And as you can see, like the shoulder is just way too wide. I always have this problem where I have to cut about an inch off of every pattern right here because my neck to shoulder seam is shorter than most people's or most pattern sizes. But this is just like a ridiculous amount. So that's why I'm not going to sew on the sleeves tonight, because I'm just like, no, we're going to have to fix this whole pattern piece. Actually, yeah, this whole pattern piece is going to have to get fixed in one way or another. Also, do you see how this triangle is here? But this isn't supposed to meet where this part overlaps this part. So if you look at the drawing here, well, on the left side of this drawing, they meet together, and on the right side, they don't quite meet together, but I don't know if that's because of the puff of the sleeve or not. But anyway, they should not cross over one another, which is what is happening. So I have a feeling that this whole front pattern piece is going to have to get changed tomorrow because it's not quite right. Also, it wants to do that. And I'm like, probably not. I think what I'm going to do is maybe do some different pleating on one of these two sides so I can both show Lynn that it's too long as patterned and then kind of make it the right size by different pleating the bottom of the other one and sewing it on so she can see. So I think that's what I will do maybe next and then get those sleeves put together. Okay, here's what I did. This is the side that I did not mess with, and it has this weird little reverse pleat right here that I'm like, why? It just makes attaching this thing harder. So I took that out. You can see the remnants of it there, and I just added a third pleat. I made sure that this little box pleat was right on the side seam there, and then it matches up. So cool. So we still have a lot of questions about this. We will deal with most of them tomorrow. Okay, here's where I get to show you the bizarreness of the sleeves. The sleeves come in 3 parts. Big ol' sleeve, fine. I reserve judgment on this sleeve being the right size. I think it's too big. Then there's like this like sleeve head part that you attach separately, which I don't understand why you would separately do that. And then I think there's all these tucks you have to take. And then you have this like oversleeve that you will put on, and you will actually cut out these as like holes and put piping in them, and then gather this all down into a little cuff sleeve that's poofy that goes over top, and there's like piping, I guess, that has been like 5 pipings worth, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of cord piping that comes in and it grabs underneath there, and then you sew it together. This thing is crazy. I'm just doing this for fit before I try to figure out all that stuff, Cool. I'm gonna try to put this together. Okay, this is gonna be the most chaotic fitting because Lynn is downstairs. We have taken up this situation up higher. We have raised this whole thing by taking a raise and lower line. We're gonna recut this collar so that it comes more forward, but it is supposed to be up like this and more and less like a boat collar. We have taken out several inches. You can kind of see the new seam line there out of there. We've done so many stuff. We took the third dart out here. We've also adjusted the side seam. So there's just like all kinds of changes to this pattern. That I've never had a pattern that I've had to adjust this much, but I've also never done a pattern off of a grid before. So that's what's happening, but it does fit a lot better and it will be cute. And all of this will go away, but then kind of be replaced by the skirting that's there. So it will kind of be this shape, but the skirt will have cute little pleats on it and stuff. So that's what's happening. We're gonna go do sleeves now. Okay, this sleeve was just massive and it doesn't even have the puff on it yet. So we're gonna do a second muslin is what we got to with this guy. Because all of these changes are so drastic that we're gonna see how this goes. So stay tuned in the future for another fitting on this guy. Alrighty, so Lynn has gone home and she is going to make me a new pattern, which I'm very excited about. There was a lot of changes to that pattern. What she did essentially was take it from Patterns of Fashion directly in her computer and blow it up to normal natural size, and then she sized it up to my waist, bust, whatever measurement and whatever. Anyway, I feel good about it. We are going to do a second mock-up. She wants me to do it in fabric that is closer to the fabrics that we are going to use to make the actual, but it is kind of it's not tight garment, so I don't think the bias stretch is actually going to be that big of a deal, but we shall see. So that is all that I have for you this week, because that is all we are doing while she makes those adjustments and sends me a new pattern. And I think she's going to send me some fabric that she would prefer me to use, since my mock-up fabric seems to just be muslin. But now you know about all my plans for the near future, is probably doing a bunch of Regency stuff. I will either make 2 Spencers or I'll make a Spencer and a Police. We aren't completely sure yet, because I do have plans to have a yellow Police be made at some point by my buddy Constance. But that might be very far down the road, so I might just make this one a yellow Police. Also, maybe I'll just have 2 yellow Polices. Who doesn't need 2 yellow Polices in California? Anyway, please do go down in the comment section and let me know what you've been up to. I haven't been around here in quite some time. You're probably like, where the heck have you been? Well, I will tell you. I spent an entire month, cataloging all my fabric. And I have over a mile of fabric. So I was thinking I might take you guys on a tour of the program that I'm using to do that. It does seem to be working out well to use that program, so I do think it's cool. It actually does a lot more stuff than I am currently using it for, so I thought I might record you a little video about that at some point soon. So if you're interested in that, do go leave me a comment and let me know that you would like to learn about it. It's called Thread Loop. Do recommend. And then in December, I just had a lot of holiday stuff going on that, combined with the long COVID, was just really tiring. I got to New Year, same old me. Still needing a lot of rest, but getting through it and excited to get some stuff done this year. So I will give you updates as I have them, of course. Do leave me messages about what you're watching, what you're listening to, what books you're reading, all that kind of stuff. I am needing some more media to consume. I keep flipping through my streaming channels and not finding things I want, although man, I had a little blowout party. I watched Silo, so season 2 just finished and that was exciting. I watched The Rape Show, which is Outlander. Finished season 7, I guess. I kind of hate watch that show at this point, but she did have a bunch of cute outfits this time that I thought were like absolutely not period correct, but I absolutely want to wear them. There was a lot of very cute things she was wearing, so I don't know, maybe that sparked some interest for once. Usually I'm actually not that interested in the Outlander costumes. I think they're kind of boring, but man, these were good. I do think the Outlander costumes, when they're good, they're not period correct. But that's okay, it's fine. Like, they don't have to be period correct to be fun, so that's exciting. And then Severance came back and I'm so excited about Severance. I love Severance so much, so I am hype for this thing. I watched the first series, I think 4 times. I'm deep in it with Severance. There is also a podcast you can listen to if you'd like to that goes episode by episode through season 1, and now they're doing season 2 with Adam Scott, who is the lead character, and Ben Stiller, who is the director for most of the episodes, and then I guess like writer, producer, blah 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 blah. So it's been pretty good. They have guests on and that's fun, so that's the newest podcast I've been listening to. I also started watching An Inspector Called with David the Willis, I think that is his name, and Miranda Richardson, who is great. So I'm kind of in the middle today of watching that. That's so exciting. Tomorrow I'm gonna go to Canada to visit my friends. So hello to everyone out there who's in Calgary. I might be where you are right now. Okay, so I think that's it for me. I will try to get you guys another update very, very soon, and hopefully it will not be such a big gap this time. I'm so sorry. Kind of lost track of time. My brain just went into holiday mode and decided to take a lot of naps, and I'm kind of in a place where I need to let my brain do that when it needs to, but I did go to the doctor today and I got referred to some long COVID specialists, which I'm very excited about, and I will deal with as soon as I get back from Canada. Okay, I think that's it for me. That was all my business. Go down below and tell me about your business. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye guys!